the three biggest winners and the three biggest losers of August. Let's start with winners. Yeah? High note? You want to start
However
happy?
You wanna.
We'll start with winners. And we'll start with number 3, the Cubs.
Yeah, the Cubs had a really good month. And the Cubs this season have had, it's almost like a roller coaster of a year, right? You had the beginning where it started off really good, and then they went through it down, and it was like, okay, Cubs aren't quite there yet. And now, with the August that they've had, they've played themselves back into a playoff spot. 18-9 in the month. Before the month started, they were in 3rd place in the NL Central. They're now in 2nd, within reach of the Brewers there, who have been playing really well of late. But I really like this Cubs team. I really like what they did in the offseason to make them better. And I really like that they didn't become sellers at the deadline. And they went for it, and now I think they can get into the playoffs. Justin Steele is one of the most underrated pitchers in baseball. He's having a fantastic year. Alzolay at the back end of the bullpen, one of the best closers. They have the makings of being a playoff team. I think they can get into the playoffs, and the August that they just had has certainly helped them.
Oh, yeah. All right. Moving on to number 2, the second best team in baseball. One of the best teams in August. They just went on an absolute tear. The Dodgers.
Yeah, look, the Dodgers aren't here. The Dodgers had the best. It was a historic month of August. But the reason they're at number 2 for me is because, well, they were first in the NL West, and now they're still just more in first in the NL West.
Double-digit lead.
Yeah, now it's a double-digit lead. They are winning the division. It was the Dodgers, not just this year, every year. The Dodgers in August are just a team you don't want to play. No. They do not lose in August, and this year was a prime example of that. And they joined the 2002 Oakland A's as the only teams in the expansion era to win 24-plus games in the month of August. Pretty
good. That's crazy. Oh, no, that's incredible.
Pretty good. So, yeah, just a historic month of August for the Dodgers, which is why they are here. But when we get to number 1, it'll make sense why I have them 2.
Because they probably made the biggest jump to where they are now just in the month of August. At number 1, the Seattle Mariners.
Yes. The Mariners started the month in not in a playoff spot. And in fact, not looking great in the division.
No.
They were in 4th place at the beginning of this month in the AL West. And now, here we are, September 1st, and you got the Mariners at the top of that AL West, leading the division, certainly looking good for the playoffs. The best record ever in the month of August for the Seattle Mariners. Best month ever. Seattle secures their 21st win in August to set a franchise record for the winningest month. Look, you had a lot going on with this Mariners team this month. What Julio was doing, what the pitching staff was doing. You had the beginning of the month, all the questions of, like, what did they do at the trade deadline? Like, I am kind of confused. And now they just have, like, the best vibes ever in that clubhouse. And they're rolling. They're playing really good baseball. Fun differentials off the charts with this team. So, 21-6. But the reason they're number 1, and I know record and the Dodgers had a better month.
Yeah.
But the fact that they weren't even close in the division and on the outside looking in at the playoffs, and now they're in the driver's seat and looking in that AL West and looking great for the playoffs. Just quite the month for them. This is the month that turned the Mariners season around.
It's just crazy to think that, I mean, in my mindset, I kind of had at the trade deadline, you had the Angels and the Mariners kind of in that same position. They were both outside looking in, and it was going to be a long shot if either of them were going to kind of make it into the top part of the AL West. Angels went all in. Mariners didn't do anything. Angels wet the bed immediately, and Mariners just completely, like, took off and had their best month ever.
Did you say wet the bed? Is that what you went with?
Yeah.
The Angels wet the bed. You can't keep the dang Angels from pissing in their bed.
That's a saying, right?
I mean, it is a saying.
Okay. What's yours? Flash fry pan?
Flash fry pan. No, it was flash in the pan. And you immediately texted me the next day, like, oh, I've heard this a few times.
Well,
since
no,
you said
I was on the herd and Nick Wright used it. And I was like, literally, I've never heard the saying. And now I've heard it twice in 2 days.
You're welcome.
So it was a saying.
It is.
Okay. So there's one other team I probably would have put in this for winners. the Phillies.
Yeah.
Because they also just kind of went off and completely got themselves back into a wild card spot. Bryce Harper's locked in, hit his 300th career home run, having an incredible season at first base for the first time. They would have been, I think, one of mine.
They would have.
Yeah,
so
I
who
just
are you
wanted
taking
to.
out? Cubs?
Cubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have flip-flopped.
Okay.
All right, let's switch to the losers.
Okay.
Okay, starting at number 3. And we're sticking in the AL West. We ended in the AL West, and we are starting the losers in the AL West, and it is the Rangers.
Yeah, you know, the Rangers didn't have a terrible month in a sense of like sub 500, right? You look up in their August, they were over 500. But for me, it was just the stretch that they went on. We saw the longest losing streak of their season happen. They're currently in 3rd place, blowing the largest divisional lead in Major League Baseball. And that is the reason that they are here. They made moves at the trade deadline. They made a lot of moves. They were very active.
Yeah.
And then to see them go on the longest losing streak of their season and to blow that big division lead and no longer be first and no longer be second. You know, now it's, I don't even say it. The whole thing's a jumbled mess.
They're all within like a game or two.
They're all within a game. But they blew that huge lead in
did.
August, went on their longest losing streak. And for me, they are my number 3 biggest loser of August.
All right, moving on to number 2. We've been talking about them a lot this month. The New York Yankees. What happened?
That is a good question.
What happened?
Well, they stunk. That is what happened. They went 10-17 on the month. They went from an above 500 baseball team to a below 500 team. And it is the latest in a season we have seen the New York Yankees under 500 in a long, long time. This is a great tweet here. The Mariners won 21 games in August. The Yankees have won 21 games since June 27th. Not good. Obviously, record on the field says bad. The playoffs are not happening.
No.
They're putting guys on waivers. They are waving the white flag on this season. But it is just, it's a mess. There's drama involved now. What do you do with the GM? What do you do with the manager? What do you do? Well, you don't do anything with the owner because he's the owner. But like, what is Hal Steinbrenner? Is he doing it right? You know, George Steinbrenner was doing it right. Is Hal the same? What is Brian Cashman doing? Brian Cashman was there for many of the glory years as well, but is he still the right answer? Is Aaron Boone the right answer? All of these questions are coming about because the New York Yankees are just in a downward spiral, and it's not pretty. It's not fun. It's not exciting. It's boring for the Yankees. You got Aaron Judge, who's Aaron Judge. You have Garrett Cole, who's one of the best pitchers in baseball. But there's just so many like question marks, and the Yankees left themselves in a place where if they dealt with a single injury on the season, they were going to be in trouble. And they've been in a lot of trouble this year.
Yeah, their season ended when Aaron Judge got hurt in LA, running in the outfield, trying to catch that ball and running through the Dodgers bullpen fence. Like, that was it. Season ended there. They never recovered.
Yeah.
This leads us to our number 1 loser of August. And it's just, at this point, it's just like, WTF is happening with this team. The Angels. Like, I don't even have words to describe how crazy and bad this organization is right now.
Well, I don't think the gap between 3, 2, and 1 here is massive.
Oh, yeah.
The gap between the Yankees and the Angels of the loser of the month is massive. And I talked about it a ton yesterday, or we talked about it a ton in the decision that they made at the waiver. All the trade pickups that they made, they put them all on the waiver wire. So they basically acquired all of these new players going for it and traded away a lot of their farm system to acquire players for 30 days and then put them on waivers and lose them for nothing. It was perhaps the most disastrous month for an organization in the history of baseball because you decide to keep Shohei, you take him off the trade block, you go ahead and make a bunch of trades to surround him and trade away your farm system to do it. And then once you make all of those trades, you go on the longest losing streak of the season.
Yeah.
You play yourself out of the playoff hunt. And at the end of the month, you look up and say, Yep, didn't work out. All right, thanks, guys. We're going to put you on waivers to save a little bit of money. But you depleted your farm system. You've ruined your future for many years to come. It's just been, I really do think this might be the worst month for an organization that we've ever seen.
Oh, you missed one of the biggest pieces, too. Once they decided to be buyers, acquire all these players, immediately blow it, then at the end of the month, the best player in baseball, Shohei Ohtani, tears his UCL. Then that same night, Mike Trout goes back on the IL after coming off for one game. And then the next week, you waive all the players that you picked up. Like, it was, I feel so sad and heartbroken for Angels fans.